Hi guys, Bolt here once again with more Steel Division 2, and today I'll be looking at the 2nd Armored Soviet Battle Group or Division. And before you do start off, yes, I do have one more activation point, but honestly, nowhere to put it. I could potentially remove the IL-2M, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So in the Recon tab, I have a wide variety of units actually. So I have these line recon units, that I like to call them. 2-man exceptional stealth recon units, just in a really fast vehicle that I'll keep close to the front line and not really engage anything with unless necessary. And I also have some flanking or offensive recon. So here I have some Razvedkas, 8-man really good units with the M1 bazookas. You could actually use these as line infantry if you want to. And to help them out, I have some T-34-76 Razvedkas, and together I'll basically use these to flank the enemy position and engage them at the flanks together with the tank firepower here. If you're not really a fan of it, what I would do is probably remove the T-34s and just put in more Razvedkas, because these guys have a really good M1, and you could get loads of these in Phase A actually. If you go for Phase C, you have 9 units that have an M1 bazooka, so that might be something to consider right there. What I could also do is just remove the dozers and just get some more of these M1 bazookas, because in Phase C you're just gonna get wrecked by all of those Panthers and Tigers. So that actually kind of interests me to do that actually. You know what, let's do it. We'll see how that goes. So in the infantry tab, there is a bug. So these say M2A1s, and these have the 50 cal on top, but when you click on them, it doesn't have the 50 cal on top, and it says that it has the M2 selected instead, which is a bug, because if I go for this Sappery unit and I want the M2A1, which has the machine gun added, it goes to the M2. But yeah, that is a known bug. I don't know if it affects the actual gameplay, if it actually removes all those trucks, but that might just do. But yeah. So in Phase A, I have these Gvardia units. These are kind of all around good units against light armored vehicles and just light infantry. They have these PTRD anti-tank weapons. It's not going to take out a Tiger, but everything like a half-track, just anything below a tank will be taken out by these anti-tank weapons. And they also carry some PPSHs and Mosin Nagants, which have a really nice range here, and also a machine gun. And I've put them on medium veterancy, and I had the M2A1s for most of these units just because we have a 50 cal and those trucks don't disappear, but it doesn't show up here. We also have some Avtomachikis in Phase A, medium veterancy, really good anti-infantry units, loads of PPSHs, and also some heat shells if they do encounter armored vehicles at really close range. And some leader units, 3-man squads, just helps keeping the morale up, making them more resilient, less susceptible to stunning damage and such, and they also don't surrender if these guys are fine. And to help out our loadout with some anti-infantry capabilities, I also have these Sappery units who carry the HE shells. Now in Phase B, I continue with that, some more Sappery units, medium veterancy, some more Sappery leaders, and some more Sapperies with Panzerfausts. Now since I have these recon units in Phase B and in Phase C, what I could do here is remove these guys from Phase C, put them in Phase B, which would kind of take over from these guys, because I primarily used these because they had a Panzerfaust. So I could remove those and just get loads of Avtomachikis to fill that front line up with like anti-infantry capabilities. I could actually put them on the highest veterancy, which would make them pretty interesting. So let's go with that and see how that goes. So in the tank, I've filled it up quite a bit. I didn't really go overboard that much. So I have the T-34-76 command unit or leader tank. Just a really basic leader tank that you can go for. I could also go for the T-34-85 in Phase A, which would make it a little bit of a stronger unit to use. You could go for a lot of heavy tanks in Phase A, but that really takes down the numbers. So in Phase A I also have the T-34-76 OBR-43s, 6 of these on medium veterancy, and to top it off, I also have the OBR-42s, and the main difference between these guys is the armor. So it has a little bit more front, side and back armor when we look at the 42 compared to the 43. And to top it off, I also have some expensive T-3485 OBR-44s. Good tank in general. This can actually take down German tanks if you manage to swarm them with these cheaper ones first, and then probably move a little bit closer with these. So in Phase A, I kind of build up on that, so we have some commander units, or some leader units, T-3485, and 8 of these T-3485 OBR-44s to swarm the enemy position. If I had one more point, I would probably spend it on tanks. So potentially, I could remove something over here, but I really just like all of these units, if I'm honest. Now what I could do is actually remove the tank destroyer, because this guy has a penetration of 180 compared to, well, literally the same, 180. So what I could do is remove the Su-85, since we already have the ISU-52 here. Gives us 3 points, so that actually puts us back into a dilemma. We could get more planes. So let's just get more fighters. There we go. Done. Well, yeah, that's all my tanks. In support tab, I have these commanders. So in Phase A, I have this combat commander unit. It just automatically goes to the highest veterancy. There's no real decision making there. And I hope these guys at least keep their... Yeah, they do keep their armed vehicles, so that's good. In Phase B, I have loads of supply trucks. 6 of these Studebaker Snabs. We also have some more command units in Phase C. And in Phase C we also have the ISU-152, which is a giant gun. And just destroys everything. Really slow shells, but it does wreck everything. So in the anti-tank tab, I am actually tempted to remove this, since we have a lot of infantry that has anti-tank capabilities. That gives us 1 point to use. So we have the ZIS 57mm in Phase A, highest veterancy possible. And we could potentially get one more to top that off. So we could get, yeah, there's absolutely no reason to go for medium veterancy, because it doesn't actually add more numbers to your deck. So what we could do is just get 2 really veteran 57mm, and they have a really good penetration too. And to help out in Phase B, we have the 76mm variant of this. Really good anti-tank gun, also has loads of HE shells, so it can do damage against softly armored units and infantry alike. And we have them on medium veterancy, and go for the highest veterancy only gives you 1, so that kind of was an easy choice to make there. So in the AA tab, almost filled up. So we have the Maxim 4M, the AAA gun here, the gas, really nice high suppression AA piece. Short range, 1000 meter range, but it can also wreck infantry. We also have some Zan Art, so 37mm. This is my best AA that I basically have here. Really good AA, 2500 meter range, good blast radius and suppression values, and really good rate of fire. More than 1 a second. And to help out with some more bullets and a little bit more accurate AA piece, we have the ZSU M17. Good range once again, good blast radius and suppression. Does more damage than the 37mm. I guess just purely because of the rate of fire. Artillery tab, kept it quite modest. So we have some Su-76 self-propelled artillery. Good range, good blast radius, nice rate of fire, and also can attack armored vehicles. Before this I had some of these I had these howitzers. But I really don't like unarmored artillery. So I usually try to keep it to self-propelled. You could also go for off-map artillery, but so far I've not really found them to be that useful. And I just don't like to drown the enemy in artillery. And finally we have Stalin's Orgels here in Phase B. Lowest veterancy possible, some Katyushas to help out. And since I have 2 of these, that's why I have 6 supply trucks. These guys drain supply trucks really quick. And last but not least, we have the air tab here. So I went for recon planes because they actually do really well of spotting the enemy position, and just 2 of these. And to help out with air supremacy in Phase B, we have 4 Yak-9Ts, and the main difference between the Yak-9Ts and the Yak-9 is this speed and or armaments. So the Yak 90 has 37 mils and is a little bit slower, only 5 kilometers per hour slower, but those 37 mils make a big difference when you're dogfighting or when you're taking down bombers. They just really quickly wreck the enemy planes, and for those on medium veterancy is definitely going to clear the sky for your bombers. Speaking of bombers, we have some IL-2Ms with rocket pods here with the RS-82s, really good to stun stuff, and they also have guns in case you do need to engage enemy planes. And they also have a machine gun in the back there, a turret. And as bombers we have the PE-283, and these guys actually destroy tanks really easily, and they're probably going to nerf that, but so far it is my go-to bomber. You also have the PE, which one was that? Yeah, so there's 2 variants here. They are called the same, but one carries 6 100 kilogram bombs and the other one carries 2 500 kilogram bombs. So the one I would go for is definitely the one that carries heavier bombs. Although the numbers are lower, they will do more damage if they hit. But yeah, that was it. So in the defense tab, I just filled it up with barbed wire and loads of bunker maxim bunkers. The gun pits, I found them not really that useful yet, because they really don't take too much away from the suppression that our AT guns take, and also trenches, since they really make infantry super resilient. And since I am mostly phase A and B focused and less so on phase C, the best way of receiving my points would probably be Maverick, because that puts most of my points in phase A and B and least of them in phase C, when most of my units will probably already be on the battleground. So it's really no use for going for something like a balanced or a juggernaut type of loadout. This will definitely suit my needs a little bit more.